Good evening. Welcome to my channel, Positivity in Motion. I am so excited to be back here again this evening, Sunday, with the change of time. Fascinating. The day is going to go just a little bit quicker, but I'm excited to be here. I am honored to have those of you who are coming back to my channel to pop back in. And if you are new, welcome to Positivity in Motion, where I share some gems with you on Sunday, hoping to help kickstart you into a fantastic week. Welcome, Monday coming. We've been going over The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn. And guess what? This week is our last week. This is the last chapter. And in this chapter, she's talking about denial and affirmations. I'll be covering affirmations more so than anything, but we're going to get a little talk going on. So I hope if you haven't already, that you find time to go out and purchase this wonderful book. It has some jewels in it that'll help you in your day-to-day life on this side. Now let's get in motion. Now, this last chapter, I'll be sharing comments more so on affirmations because I think affirmations are so important. We've been talking also about the imaging faculty and the need to change what we see, how we view ourselves, and affirmations can help us do that. One of the areas that Shinn shares this week is that a statement she made. And in that statement, she says, "It is impossible for man to release more than he thinks is possible. For one is bound by the limited expectations of the subconscious." And we were talking about the subconscious mind several times in some of my other videos. I'm not a psychiatrist, psychologist, medical doctor, or none of that, but I have done a little research, so I encourage you to go back and listen to those and see how powerful the subconscious mind is. It's important to remember that we limit ourselves based on the demands that we put on ourselves. And she covers what is scripture. She got a little more scripture this time. And she stated, "Thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee." All the good that is to be manifested in a man's life is already accomplished in the divine mind. And we talked about that last week as well. And that when we come to this side of life, we come with everything that we need to be successful. We also covered last week the importance of how we demand infinite wisdom, infinite intelligence, God, Jesus the Christ, for the things that we desire. And this week, she covered that a little more in detail, and I kind of took it a little better this week than what I took it in sharing it last week. And she stated that it's important that when we demand of the divine, because we're his children, it's our birthright from her perspective, that we need to ask in the perfect way, the perfect will of God. For me, the infinite spirit, infinite intelligence, the divine, the supreme. That it's important that we remember who is in charge, that we make sure to give credit to where credit is due, that in the divine, everything comes true, and we only want the things that are divinely ours, in a perfect way that we receive those things. Because when we don't, we can manifest things that may not be rightfully due us. Negative or positive, I'm saying that. She didn't say that. But when we don't ask specifically and give credit where credit is due, in the divine plan, in the divine will, that we are subject and open ourselves up to receiving things that may not be divine. And we have to be very, very, very careful of that. And that when we ask for things, we need to make sure that we ask in faith, believing that the things that we are asking for will try to get my shoulders right with this video camera, you know? It's so funny. I love doing this though, and I'm getting better and better and better. Okay, let me get back focused. But that when we ask for things, we ask for the things that are in the will of God, and that we ask very, very carefully. Because remember, words have power. Words have power. Sometimes we may be shaking in our boots, but we have to ask in faith, not wavering, not using our own thoughts, but visualizing, visioning, and I'll get into that a little bit later, what the divine's plan is for us. Now, I know sometimes we're not as strong as what we would like to be sometimes. Sometimes we ask for things and we're shaking in our boots. Sometimes we are fearful that what if this thing come true? You know, this thing here might come true. But we still have to hold on to the faith. We have to hold on and believe that even in treacherous waters, and the waters on this side can get very treacherous, that we're going to hold on to the faith. We're going to hold on to the fact that everything that the divine wills for us will come through. Not our visualization, but the vision of the divine. Now, I went over a poem a couple of weeks ago, and that poem was The State of Mind, because it all starts here in the mind. Before you can even understand it, it starts here. And in that poem, it said, if you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you would like to win, but think that you won't, it's almost a cinch that you won't. For life does not always go to the stronger or faster man, but sooner or later, the one who wins is the one who thinks that he can. And I firmly believe that, and I've shared before, I think that's what has kept me and enabled me to be so positive on this side of life, because we do take some punches. I've had quite a few myself, which is why I'm doing these podcasts, these YouTube, is to help you understand that if you just hang on, you're going to be okay. But it all starts in the state of mind. Now, Shinn shares, like I stated earlier, two words. She shares the word visualizing and visioning. And I found that this is pretty much true. And visualizing, she says, it is a mental process governed by reasoning or the conscious mind. And that is true. When we visualize, we see as our mind sees. However, in vision, which is what she also covers, she stated that visioning is found in the perspective and is governed by spiritual. It's a spiritual process, and it's governed by intuition of the subconscious mind. And it's a subconscious mind that drives and tries to help us succeed in the areas that we have in our imaging faculty. It's very important that you hone in to these two words, visualizing and visioning. We want to use the vision of the divine and not visualize for ourselves, because we know that our visualization is flawed. We know that we'll get the negative thoughts, we'll get the negative words that come to mind, those intrusive thoughts that try to prevent us from doing what we have been divinely sent here to do. So we must look at the vision of the divine, which is pure, wonderful. Everything that we desire can be ours. And remember, I said earlier that she said when we ask, we need to ask in the right spirit. We ask giving credit to Jesus the Christ. Now, She shares Philippians 4:8, where it talks there about whatsoever a man like in his mind, that we have to think on what is honorable, what is just, what is pure, what is lovely, what is gracious. And we need to focus on those things. Now, we're human. I'm human just like everyone else, and our minds tend to run and scatter. And when it does, we have to bring it back to center. We have to say, no, we're going to think positive today, and this is what we're going to think about. What is true? What is honorable? What is pure? What is lovely? What is gracious? And we're going to focus on those things. So remember that we need to transform our minds, change our imaging faculty, which is what I've talked a lot about. What we see in God's vision for us, not our visualization, but God's vision, the Supreme's vision of us. And the scriptures is full of things that that God sees for us and the best for us. So she shared this week some affirmations, and in this chapter, that's what she's covering. So I would like to cover some of those with you. For prosperity, if you're interested in prosperity, and remember, prosperity is not just financial. It could be health, it could be work, it could be financial, it could be friends, it could be everything. It's not just limited to finances, because remember, we don't even have a clue to what the Lord has for us and what he can do for us. So let's not limit God. When we think about prosperity, we're talking about all aspects that one can prosper. So the affirmation there says, and say these now several times a day. Write them down where you see them on the mirror, or you put them in the kitchen on the refrigerator, or wherever your favorite spot is, and pick them up and read them throughout the day. I have mine in the bathroom, and when I go in there, I read them. And I have them on my desk. I read them, because we got to change what we think. We got to change our imaging faculty, and the best way to do that is with positivity. Okay, I'm going to get to the quote now. Affirmation for prosperity, she says, God is my unfailing supply, and large sums of money come to me quickly, under grace, and perfect ways. There's that word, perfect ways. That means good ways, in the divine way. Make sure you give credit where credit is due, so that what you're receiving, is from above. Because, like I said, things can come and not be as favorable if we're not asking in the proper way. So for prosperity again, she says, God is my unfailing supply, and large sums of money come to me quickly, under grace and perfect ways. Write that down and say that. Now, when you're seeking for the right condition of something, the affirmation that she shared was, only that which is true of God is true of me, for I and the Father are one. She's paying the proper respect, so that what we receive in the perfect condition, in the perfect way. So I like that. And then she shared one on faith. Faith, as I am one with God, I am one with my good, for God is both the giver and the gift. I cannot separate the giver from the gift. And that was the one on faith. For health, divine love floods my consciousness with health, and every cell in my body is filled with light. Every cell in my body is filled with light. And I especially like this one for work. The affirmation for work was, I have perfect work in a perfect way. I give perfect service for perfect pay. Let me say that one again, the affirmation for work. I have perfect work in a perfect way. I give a perfect service for perfect pay. Now, I'm going to share with you all the affirmation last week. I put it into practice only 2 days, and I noticed immediately when I got to work that there were changes. I don't know if the changes were in me or in the people I work with, but I knew that there was a positive energy there. And that's why I like saying affirmations, because I'm sharing positivity out in the universe. And remember, according to Scovel Shinn, what we give out boomerangs back to us. So saying these affirmations can only help you. Find time each day to go over these affirmations and say them, put them in your car, wherever you need to build yourself up, lift yourself up with affirmations. You can Google affirmations as well, and there are thousands and millions of them out there, but just remember to say perfect will, divine will, and Jesus Christ's will. Don't just go out and blatantly put something out there, because anything could come back. And what you want to receive is what is in the perfect will of the divine. So just remember that. Now, this week, I challenge you to think of yourself as the being who came to this side of life to do something that only you can do. Learn to look internal for the things that you need answers to, because you have the answer already inside of you. A lot of times we want to ask this person and ask that person. We need to ask the divine to show us the path. Look in the mirror and see that you really possess everything that you need. And when negativity pop up, because it will, you have to deny it. Deny it. Cancel it and say your affirmations. Replace that negativity with positivity. And remember to ask and demand what it is that you want in the divine's will. And I hope that works well for you. Now, I did share that this is the last chapter in this book, Florence Scovel Shinn, The Game of Life and How to Play. So if you have some ideas of some things or some topics that you would like for me to cover, drop it in the chat. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and then you'll know when I'm coming on. It has been exciting. We've been doing this now for about 3 weeks, and I'm still at it. I have not quit, and I'm challenging you to stick with your goals as well. So this is Victoria, Positivity in Motion, signing out. Have a fantastic week.